Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Monday morning, September 11th, and may the memory of 9/11 never leave us on how we need to be prepared to fight the principalities of the air as well as here on earth. May the remembrances be solemn, somber, and also significant, that your life means something. So this morning I was thinking about a few things, part of my morning meditation, and I wrote some notes. So if I look up and look at these, I want to make sure I get these notes completely the way I wrote them down. Okay. And I hope that you'll be blessed by what I have written here. I entitled these notes as Success Quotient. And many years ago, many years ago, I read a book by my favorite self-help author. His name was Og Mandino. And he first burst on the scene with a book called The Greatest Salesman in the World. And a lot of people thought, okay, it's about sales, and I'm not a salesperson, but it's more than that. It's actually an attitude about life. And he followed up with an impressive stream of books after that, and it allowed you to look inside yourself. One of the things that we suffer from on this earth is that we are always looking at other people rather than ourselves, and we overlook many things. So one of the greatest favorites, or one of my favorite books by him, was something called The Greatest Miracle in the World. And it was this interesting because it points out the uniqueness that should never have you ever doubting yourself, ever. And I think this was echoed by Neil deGrasse Tyson. You may know him as one of the great physicists on Earth. And recently he pointed out that of all the people that have lived and have died, and there's been billions, right? Billions of people, there are far more people who will never be born, who will never have lived. Think about that just for a second, because we are unique because we get to live, but we also get to die. Think about that. And that may seem strange until you realize that we get to live and we get to die. Billions and trillions of people will never, ever have that privilege. That's amazing when you really think about that. So when we look at where we are in life right now and where we would like to go, meaning become, we often fall short because we insultingly compare ourselves to other people. We do a backdoor envy of them because they seem to have all the good things in life and we seemingly do not. Well, that's unfair, but we are different from everyone else who has ever lived, who will ever live, and who lives now. After all, our fingerprint is solely our own. No one will have our fingerprint ever. Of all the combinations of all the people who could be born, no one will ever have our own fingerprint. Just like a snowflake is different from every other snowflake. And you think about a snowstorm that dropped 20 inches of snow over 50 miles, of all the snowflakes that fell, they're all different. There's no one like us, nor will there ever be. So in business, and we must always think in terms of business, whatever our occupation is, to earn ourselves a living, that we can influence our lifestyle or whatever, that's business. Doesn't mean you have to be the CEO or whatever of the company or whatever you're doing, but it means in business. We often talk ourselves out of success because we compare ourselves to other people who are more successful, or they seem to be more successful, or who we think are better looking than we are, or those we deem to have more skills than us, and that is why they are where they are and that we are not. That's very unfortunate. But let me submit that it's not one's skills, looks, or genes that make them successful. In short, those people we deem to be more successful are those whose personalities drive their dreams. One need not be arrogant or polished. They just need to have their personality, their inner personality, accept nothing less than what their dreams demand. Have you ever thought about that in every regard? You stop and think about the best barber in the barber shop is the one who cuts the other barber's hair and makes him look like new money, while they don't have the skills to make him or her look the same. So who should you go to? You go to that barber. I don't care how he looks, how his hair looks, or whatever else. All the other barbers look great because he cuts their hair. That's the personality. And that is why people who don't care what he or she looks like, it's how they present themselves to themselves. You can do things that other people just cannot do, and they will never do it the way that you do. You are totally unique in all respects. And your personality should be one that tells you that what I have is simply the best thing I could ever show you. Your personality should have the confidence to tell yourself that no matter who is in front of me, I will show them what I have, and why I will show them what I have, I should say, and why they should have it from me. Not on its own merits, but from me. my belief system is making it perfectly clear that you should have this. I don't care how you look at it, how you balance it on the scales. You need to have this because I believe that you should have this. That's not a coercion. It's a persuasion. Meaning you're persuading yourself to present yourself in such a way that you are so utterly convincing that this should be the way it should be in your life. And I've seen top performers in other businesses in my 30+ years on this life is now 72 years. And what makes them different from me outside of their time spent ahead of me showing up, they've had a head start? Nothing, because they are convinced of who they are. They are extraordinarily attractive. They cannot wait to see themselves, quote, making dust in the world. And that's to borrow a phrase from Og Mandino. They make it known that if someone tells them no, it's not their fault. It's got to be theirs. In fact, one of the greatest performers in one of my businesses, after making a presentation to a person, the person said, well, I think I need to think about it. And the person, the gentleman put his pen down and he says, either I did a poor job or you're just stupid. What is it? I mean, would you have the confidence or the personality to say that? Because you did your best and you showed him what you thought was the best thing for them, because it's something that's the best thing for you. And fortunately, that person did end up signing up. But how many of us would have had the guts and the confidence to say that? Probably not many of us. But how many of you would have made a presentation showcasing your amazing product or service, and they talked you out of it? The value should have just beamed from you. That no matter what happens, it's like the sun shining on your face, that this is the greatest thing that you will ever see today. Okay? And because you believe it, and your personality is so convincing that this is what they need to do, that they can't say no to that. Nor will they say no to you, no matter how you look or present yourself. You're showing them all the good things about what you can do for them. And you can make the difference in that regard. You stop and think about, is your personality talking you out of success? Do you believe that you're not worthy? I have a lot of people that, I've taken the time to learn computers and how to do things. Doesn't mean I'm a programmer, but it means I've learned how to do what the tools are in front of me. And how many times have you been up in front of somebody and they say, well, I'm not like you. I can't do that. I'm a dinosaur. I'm just not good. How do you know this? Well, I've tried. How many times have you tried? Have you tried enough to make sure that you know that you either can or cannot do it? Again, this is important because, again, when I think in terms of myself and my faith, which tells me that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, who am I to doubt my Creator's handiwork? I have gifts, not just physical gifts, but spiritual gifts. So I'm equipped to go out and make a huge difference in the world and the lives of other people. I have no doubt of that. And I'm never going to doubt what my Creator did for me. So when you think about, as you begin your Monday today, decide today that today will be the day that you leave any and every doubt that you may ever had about yourself in comparison to anyone else in the dustbin of history. You see, because comparison, frankly, is the thief of joy. Don't do that. Just don't. As Mr. deGrasse Tyson summed it up, if you have the privilege of being able to die, of getting to die, getting to live, getting to die, don't squander it. You have a purpose for being here, a divine one. Don't squander it. There are too many people who need you to succeed. And if you overlook that responsibility you have to be your very best for the sake of other people, then you are doubting your Creator's handiwork. Your God now is way too small because you're not counting on Him to elevate you to where you need to be. You have a wellspring of gifts and skills that you can call upon. You may need to practice these things before you go out before anyone else. That's fine. Do so because your life needs you to do so. Your dreams demand it. And if you don't follow your dreams, if you sit there and sell yourself short, you just talk yourself out of success. And then you sit in the corner alone and lonely because you've no longer reached out to anyone else's life to make a difference in their life whatsoever by what you have, what you can do, or how you feel. Okay? Your confidence in you should be more than enough to tell somebody, I need to hear what that person has to say. Because they seem so convinced by this. Let me find out what it is that they have. And if it fits, wear it. If it fits, put the shoes on, put the coat on, try it, wear it. They will believe in you enough to try to wear it. I don't want you to waste your life or squander the opportunity. Be blessed today. Today. It's the only day you have. Bye bye.